Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of the Idaho House Republicans podcast, where you get to learn a little bit more about the representatives that you have sent to the State House. And today we are just super privileged to have Representative Judy Boyle with us. And Judy represents Legislative District 9 in Seat B, and she's in her 9th term. Good afternoon to you, Judy Boyle.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us. So let me tell you a little about Judy. Judy is an agricultural person and a writer. We'll have to talk about what you write. She went to Lassen Community College. She went to BSU. She went to University of Idaho. She was actually the Natural Resources Director for former Congressman Helen Chenoweth, which must have been an awesome experience. She has been voted as one of the 100 most influential people in Idaho. She has 2 kiddos and 2 grandchildren, and she's just a treasure for the state. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Hey, we always start the same way, Representative Boyle, and that is tell us a little bit about your Legislative District 9. Where is it, and what do your people care about when they send you to the State House? What do they want you to do?
They want me to be honest and to protect them from the government.
There you go. And so their biggest concerns is smaller government, faith, family freedom, leave me alone, let me do my thing.
Mostly leave me alone. Yes.
And let me do my thing.
Exactly.
All right. I love it. Now you are in your 9th term. What inspired you to come into the State House, and what inspires you to stay in the State House?
I guess I'm a little crazy. I've been involved in government since I was a kid.
Right.
My grandfather told me that our form of government is not a spectator sport, so we had to be involved.
I love it.
So he taught me the Constitution. He taught me how to find candidates. We were always door knocking, being in parades. It was really fun. It was a great education.
And now you're door knocking for yourself. Well, you actually probably don't need to anymore. Everyone knows you so well.
Well, we have a lot of new people moving in.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the districts are already changing.
And our district changed. I used to have Adams County, Washington, Payette, and a little bit of Canyon. And then the districts changed. Now I don't have Adams anymore. Now I have a lot more of Canyon, but it's mostly the ag areas.
Perfect. I have to ask you about your experience with Helen Chenoweth. Tell me about what that was like. I've never heard anybody say anything negative about her. I think she's like a legend.
She is a legend, but while she was serving, they had a lot of negative things to say about her. Because, like me, she spoke truth. She didn't care who it was. And she fiercely protected her constituents.
I love that.
She was so much
And how long did you work for her?
The whole time she was there.
Really? Okay. And how long did she serve?
3 terms.
Oh, fantastic.
She called me every single night, no matter where she was, and said, what's going on in the district?
So you served, so you were the local Idaho person for her. Like you didn't go to D.C., you were the Idaho person.
No, I went to D.C. 1 week a month.
Oh.
And as you know, this congressional district is Canada to Nevada, the whole western side. So I knew every shortcut, every law enforcement officer.
That's awesome.
Oh, wow. It was wild.
Hey, so let's turn to legislation. As I've kind of researched the legislation that you're running, you know a lot of different things. You have impact. You don't necessarily have one lane. You have a lot of lanes. You've been around the State House a while. You know how to solve problems, and people rely on you to take on a lot of different topics. And so let's discuss some of them. One thing that's kind of under the radar, but it's super important to the future of nuclear energy for Idaho, is House Bill 737, and it's a merger of a couple of agencies, which sounds kind of wonky. But why is this so critical, Representative Boyle?
Well, as you know, this year we're trying to save money, and so we thought if we merge these 2 agencies, which are non-regulatory agencies, they kind of have similar missions. And we would only have 1 administrator instead of 2.
Okay.
And they just needed both of their codes updated and expanded so that we could add nuclear into that.
And these agencies are the Office of Species Conservation and the Government of Energy and Mineral Resources. Those are the 2 that are combining.
Correct.
And so Callie Younger is very grateful that you are giving her some more resources, I imagine, as we crawl more and more deeply into our potential for nuclear energy. Is that one of the reasons why this is occurring?
That's one of the reasons. But Callie's agency will also be a one-stop shop for permitting. So instead of, let's say it's a mining company.
Right.
Instead of a mining company having to go to every single agency one at a time, Callie can call them all together and say, okay, these are the permits we need. What's your timeline? Let's get with the program.
Fantastic. Well, and it also saved, like you said, several $100,000 too, I believe.
Correct.
For the state. And we are in a position right now where we are going to be trimming our budgets a little bit, trimming the sales a bit. So that helps. Okay, thank you for explaining that. Now, House Joint Memorial number 9, I believe, is about federal policy and our federal lands. Tell us about what that joint memorial, because that you ran that as well. I should be telling everyone, like a lot of times when we have guests on, they pick their favorite bills, but they don't necessarily run them. Almost everyone that I'm talking about are bills that she's actually carrying on the floor. So it's a heavy workload, and we thank you for what you do. Anyway, back to House Joint Memorial 9. Tell us about that.
So this one is just a memorial to Congress and to the White House. And also to Interior.
And what is it telling them to do?
It's telling them to get with the program here.
Right. And what's the program?
Okay. The program is that FLPMA, which was passed in 78, that's a federal statute, has always controlled land exchanges with the federal government.
Okay.
And suddenly a judge decided that no, he didn't want to use that one to control in an exchange.
Okay.
These poor people had started on this exchange clear back in the late 90s, and they had 60,000 pages in the administrative record. They finally got through with the exchange. BLM signed the record of decision. They exchanged deeds, and suddenly a judge entered the picture 4 years later and said, nope, I'm
undoing it.
Yeah, invalidate the whole thing.
Crazy.
So we are just asking Congress to one more time validate that FLPMA is the land exchange law, nothing else.
That's a lot of these joint memorials are reminding, right, Congress of what they already said they would do but are not doing, right?
Correct.
It must be quite frustrating from the state standpoint, watching the federal government not do what it's supposed to do.
It really is very frustrating.
Let's talk about House Bill 684, and it talks about the reimbursement to the sheriff's office. And what are we reimbursing, and what's happening there? What's about that bill? Again, another Representative Judy Boyle bill.
Okay, so this one we passed a year or two ago, and then when it got to almost to the Senate, it got mixed up a little bit, and our prison system decided they didn't want to have to pay, and they wanted the Board of Examiners to pay. So in our Constitution, the sheriff is required to go recapture a prisoner that has escaped the system,
Okay.
the state system.
Okay.
So the state is the one who lost them, not the county sheriff. But let's say it's Washington County. Someone committed a crime
Okay.
for which they were adjudicated, and they were sent to the state prison. And somehow they escaped.
Okay.
And this happens a lot.
Really?
You'd be surprised.
Dang.
So the sheriff then has to go and recapture this prisoner, no matter where he is. And small counties without any money, they are the ones who are expending the money to go capture this prisoner in Alaska, in Florida.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy. And then, of course, the property tax owners of that county has to pay
Take the burden.
even though it's not their fault. So
Right.
we're just saying, state, you lost them, you pay for it.
You pay for returning the property. There you go. But I like that. You lost it. You found it. You got to pay us. Sorry, you lost it. We found it, and you've got to reimburse us.
Correct.
Reminds me a little of the county jail bill that's going through, where counties are being asked to spend $125, $150 a day, and they're only being reimbursed by the state. What, $55 for the first 10 days and $75 a day after that.
Correct.
Again, the same thing. Why would you stick that to the county? The state should take that burden. So there's a bill that I think Bruce Skog brought, which would make that $80 a day, starting to move it in the right direction, but the same kind of idea.
Yes, it is.
State pay for what you broke. Let's talk about House Joint Memorial 13, which is about WOTUS. SCOTUS talking about WOTUS, so SCOTUS, obviously the Supreme Court of the United States, and WOTUS has to deal with the waters of the U.S., right?
Correct.
So what happened? This is an Idaho case, the Sacketts, right? So tell us what this joint memorial does.
Well, the Sacketts for 21 years now have not built a house on their lot,
Still?
which they bought.
Oh my.
Now they can build it. They just haven't yet. So 21 years ago, Mrs. Sackett bought a lot for $22,000 up by Priest Lake.
Nice.
First, she checked to be positive it was not within the waters of the U.S. There was not a wetland
Right.
on any government map.
A stream, an ocean, a river, a lake, or an adjacent wetland.
Correct.
She went through all the no.
Everything.
And what happened?
And what happened, they went to start to move dirt, and suddenly the EPA and the Corps of Engineers showed up and said, you're destroying a wetland, cease and desist immediately.
Right.
Well, the Sacketts went, wait a minute, this is our private property. We bought it. We checked on it. You guys are wrong.
Right.
And the federal government said, we will charge you $37,500 a day until you put the dirt back where it belonged, and you never touch it again.
Oh my.
And the Sackett said, not going to do that. So they went to a private attorney who told them, just pay it and walk away because they will break you if you don't. Remember, the federal government has all the money in the world and all the time.
Right.
And the Sackett said, no, they're
Wow.
wrong. We're right. We're moving forward. Well, thankfully, the Pacific Legal Foundation entered into it. They're a nonprofit law firm started by Ronald Reagan.
Oh, there you go.
Yes. So they entered into it and said, we'll take your case. They went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court and they won. Sacketts
awesome?
thought, great, now we're free. No. The federal government doesn't give up that easily. They came back again and harassed them. At one point, they came to arrest Mr. Sackett.
Oh my.
This is just a crazy, horrid story.
Over a $22,000 lot by Priest Lake.
Yes, without any water.
Without any water, right?
Yes, no wetland characteristics.
Jeez.
So back to court they went again. And the Supreme Court, for the second time, ruled unanimously, federal government, you are wrong. Leave these people alone.
Wow.
And at one point, one of the justices said, how much are you fining them? $37,500 a day? And the federal government said, oh, no, that's just for one violation. We have two. So now it's $75,000 a day for all these years.
Goodness gracious.
It was, I think Mr. Sackett said, $465 million for this $22,000 lot.
Whoa.
And the justices said, federal government, you're wrong.
Wow.
And by the way, here's how the Clean Water Act is interpreted by us, and you're breaking the law. And here are the standards you will abide by from now on. Well, unfortunately, that was good for the Sacketts.
Oh my. There's more?
But yes,
Oh.
the federal government has continued to act inappropriately and illegally. There is another case, almost like the Sacketts up north, not far from them. There are ranchers all over Idaho
Right.
that are being treated this way. Irrigation districts, road districts, it has not stopped.
Wow. So are the Sacketts able to actually build their home, but they have not yet, but they're in the clear.
They
But
are
now
in the clear.
We're finding this happening in more and more instances across the state. So there's more Sacketts
Yes.
across the state. So what you're trying to tell the Congress here is like, come on, again, get with it, right? Get with the program.
Get with it. And we're also asking the administration to follow the law and follow the Supreme Court decision.
Well, thank you for that work. Again, Representative Judy Boyle, House Joint Memorial, she brought it. Now let's talk about House Bill 683, which is to clarify the definition of the residence of a sex offender registration. Tell me why you're bringing that bill. What problem is it solving for Idahoans? Because this sounds like a big safety issue.
It really is. So the Washington County Sheriff called me late spring, and he said we need to change the law. The sheriffs always are the ones who find out as soon as a sex offender moves into their county or changes residence.
Okay.
They go to make sure they're really where they're supposed to be.
Okay.
He got a notice that this one was living in an assisted care facility while he was going through rehab. So he went down to find out what's going on because this facility is within 500 feet of a school. And by law, he cannot live there.
Right.
And as he went down, he found the person standing out on the sidewalk as the children were walking to school.
Oh, my.
So the sheriff was a little upset. So he went in and he said, you have to remove this person. And the care center said, no, we don't. We're getting Medicaid dollars for him and we're not giving them up. And the sheriff said, we'll see about that. And so finally, after a little discussion, they decided, yeah, we'll get rid of him.
Okay.
So that's where this law change came from.
So what is the law now, and what is your law change code-wise to make sure this does not happen?
Well, we're saying exactly what a residence is because in the current law, it isn't very clear that they cannot live anywhere within this 500 feet. We made the exception if it's a hospital and they're actually a patient in the hospital.
Right.
That's different.
Because the hospital has total control of whether they're
Yes.
admitted or not, can leave.
Yes.
So there's a control element to it.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you. That's a really important bill. House Bill 745, you'll be surprised to know, brought by Representative Judy Boyle, is about government unions and public employees. What does that bill do, and why is it critical that the House and the Senate support this and it goes to the governor's desk and Governor Little signs it?
Well, this is another bill that passed the House last year. I got it through there with no problem, and it got stuck in the Senate.
Tell us about the bill.
So we found out that the teachers union are spending $1.2 million across the state of taxpayer money for union activities. That $1.2 million should be going to the classroom to teach kids how to read.
And what is that? Where does that $1.2 million of taxpayer money come from?
It's appropriation.
Really? So
us.
the union is using appropriated dollars from the general fund that is earmarked for education and using that instead for union activity.
Correct. So there are 115 school districts. Charter schools don't have union at all.
Okay.
And of those 115, there's 83 which have a union in their district.
Okay.
So 52 of them are they're demanding that the school district send those union dues to the union. So they're taking them out of the tax or out of the teacher's pay and send them to the union, even though the union has their own website and they can do it.
Right.
So we're using district time and resources to do that.
To collect these fees.
To collect the fees. Plus, teachers are being given time off to do union activities, but the school district is paying for those.
Okay.
Some of them
and that's
are
for the
up
tax dollar.
Yes.
Because you're paying the teachers, you're paying, right.
Yes.
Okay. There you go.
Some of them are allowed an entire year off. They don't even ever go into their classroom. Some of them, it's down to like 7 days. But nevertheless, we think if they're doing union activities, the union should be paying.
Absolutely. It kind of goes back to your theme, convict escapes. It's the state's fault. The county takes care of it. They should pay for it. Same thing here. The union is the one that's really doing the work. They should be paying for this, not $1.2 million of taxpayer money. So tell me, what are the prospects this year? Has it been through the House here? Tell me how it's going this year, this bill.
It just went through the committee.
Okay.
And so now it'll be on the House floor.
And has it changed at all since last year? Or is it essentially the same bill?
It changed a little bit. We put it in the labor code because the firefighters and law enforcement, the city law enforcement, were really concerned that somehow this was going to affect them.
Gotcha.
So we made sure that it in the code, it does not affect them.
So they are not protesting wildly against this bill
No.
where they might have last year.
And they did.
And they did last year. Okay, so it's going to the committee. It's through committee.
Yes.
Okay, now it's going to go to the floor, hopefully next week. And then what are the prospects for the bill going forward this year? Do you feel better about it getting through the Senate, or?
We'll see.
We'll see, right? And that's House Bill 745. So pop some popcorn and keep looking at the Idaho legislature. You can just go in, there's a bill index. You can look up the bill number. You click on the bill and you can see exactly what's happening. You'll see that it's gone through committee. Then you'll see it's gone to the floor. You'll see the vote on the floor, and then you'll see it go to the Senate, and you'll see it go to committee, right? And then hopefully the governor's desk someday.
Correct.
So we just thank you for all the work you do on behalf of Idaho. My goodness.
Oh, it's fun. I love it.
And we've just had a great time visiting with Representative Judy Boyle, who represents the Legislative District 9. And you know what? I forgot to ask you one thing before you go. I forgot to ask you what committees you serve on, so people know what committees you serve on.
Okay, I'm on natural resources,
Makes sense.
transportation,
There you
and
go.
state affairs.
Oh, the state affairs is always fun.
It is a blast.
Yes, Representative Crane runs a fantastic
He is a
operation, doesn't he?
Yeah, very good chairman.
And you get all the fun stuff.
We get
all the
everything.
social stuff.
Everything
There you
under
go.
the sun, from elections to abortion.
As a representative was in here earlier, it said it's the Committee of Guns and Babies, the whole breadth of guns and babies. So anyway, again, thank you, Representative Judy Boyle, for joining us on Idaho House Republicans podcast. Again, Representative Boyle represents Legislative District 9. She's in seat B. She's in her 9th term. And as we always say before we sign off, God bless the great state of Idaho. And thank you again, Representative Judy Boyle.
Thank you.
Sunrise on the Snake River Plain, red, white, and blue in the window pane. Work boots dusty from yesterday, but we're back at it the Idaho way.